Hi everybody, in this video we're going to look at how we can compare and order different fractions, and we'll begin by looking at 2/3 and 5/9. Now I want to know out of those two fractions which is greatest and which is smallest. To be able to do that and compare fractions, we first must make the denominators the same. This is the easiest way to compare two different fractions. So, to do this, we must think about the 3 times table and the 9 times table and find the lowest common multiple. In this case, it's nice and simple, as that is 9. To make the first fraction have a denominator of 9, we must multiply it by 3, whereas the second fraction already has a denominator of 9, so we can leave that alone. The first fraction, once we multiply the denominator by 3, will give us a new denominator of 9, and then we must do the same to the numerator. So 2 times 3 equals 6. We now have 6/9, which we can compare with 5/9. And we clearly can see that 6/9 is greater than 5/9, so therefore 2/3 was greater than or bigger than 5/9. In this picture down here, we can see proof of that. Here we have our 2/3, which is a greater amount than 5/9. Let's look at another one together. This time we have 2/6 and we have 3/8. We want to know which fraction is smaller and which is greater. Like last time, we want to make the denominators the same so that we can compare them more easily. As the denominators are 6 and 8, we must find the lowest common multiple of 6 and 8. As you can see from our 6 times table and our 8 times table, the lowest common multiple is 24. So therefore, we will make both denominators 24. On this first fraction, we must times the denominator of 6 by 4 so that it becomes 24. And on the second fraction, we must multiply it by 3 so that it becomes 24. Remember, if we're multiplying the denominators, we must also do the same to the numerators. Once we've multiplied our first fraction by 4, we will have a new fraction of 8/24. Once we've multiplied our second fraction by 3, we will have 9/24. Now that we have the same denominator, all we need to do is look at the two numerators and see which is greater. In this case, we can clearly see that 9/24 is greater than 8/24, which means that 3/8 was greater than 2/6. Again, we can show this in our image below. Here is our 3/8, and you can clearly see it is greater than the 2/6. Pause the video now and have a go at this question on your own. Let's see how you did. First, we will begin by making the denominators the same. This time our denominators are 3 and 7, so we will find the lowest common multiple of 3 and 7. This time, that number is 21. Our first fraction must be multiplied by 7. Our second fraction must be multiplied by 3. Our first fraction becomes 14/21. Our second fraction becomes 15/21. Now that we have the same denominator, we look at the numerators to see which is greater, and you can clearly see that 15/21 is greater than 14/21. Therefore, looking at our original fractions, 5/7 was greater than 2/3. Finally, we can check this using our image. Down here we have our 5/7, which you can clearly see is greater than 2/3.